Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless work, career, vocation read. I am your reader. Fellow Earth sign, Virgo that I am, Mark Angelo Lyons, MAL for short. They are my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, 24 years in service at the time of this timeless recording, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. There is a link in the description box. You can preview it for free and see some of the wisdom I picked up and shared in that book from those many years in service. And I am a creator on Patreon, patreon.com /Drawing the Circle. A lovely subscription service. If you are a creative person in any way, shape, or form, and you're looking for a wonderful platform to put your stuff out there and have people support you in that, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It is the best career move I ever made. Right now, at the time of this timeless recording, I got humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, gods, goddesses is my subscription tier, streaming there every day, pretty much every day. I haven't missed a day in I think a month. A cup of coffee, bathrobe, hair doing what it's going to do, talking about the day's astrological weather, the spiritual implications, the magical applications of said astrological weather, and we always end with a little prayer, a little blessing, a little meditation, something which is just really great for me to do every morning, and I know my patrons are enjoying it too. Because it's an unlisted YouTube link, so they can come and chat with me. Plus, they get access to all the extended readings I do, the advanced stuff that everybody else will maybe see a week or so later, as well as content just for them. And it ain't only fans, yeah. Community guidelines, but having a field day. So you want a deeper experience, more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more Mal, then come Patreon. On Patreon with the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons, that you may just call Mal. Damn. Hi. Hi, my Taurians. I'm feeling really good flying high at the time of this timeless recording because I think I'm about to buy a house in upstate New York and move there. So I'm doing the bull dance, feeling the flow, which I guess a Taurus could relate to. We're doing what's called the 3 levels of power read. There are lots of links in the description box, but particularly one by Carolyn Myss, that's M-Y-S-S. She is a PhD. This is her archetype card deck, talking about the 3 levels of power. It's like part 1 of maybe 3 parts of a lecture on the 3 levels of power. Archetypal lenses that we are looking at life purpose through work, career, and vocation, and we'll explain that as we go. We are doing 13 cards in this spread. A lot of them have to do with chakras, but we're ending with my newest deck that I got at the Magic Moon in Saratoga Springs, the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, to help remove obstacles in work, career, vocation. That'll be our last card down. So let's get to it. It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Standard YouTube reading rules apply, right? And one could highlight your work, one your career, one your vocation if you know your sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, because each one usually has a point of leverage, one of the 3, that if you shift that a little bit, the other 2 will come along with. There are chakras involved. There's a lot to talk about. Let's just do it, shall we? Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, because work, career, vocation is about your life purpose, your contracts, what you came in to do as a divine being and an immortal soul on a hero's journey in human form, right? So the more you do that, the more you are moving this planet forward from from let's just say toxic timelines to healthy timelines, shadow to light, lead to gold. It's all the alchemy of our life purpose, making this world better for everybody. Got it? I guess that's about it. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I will do the best that I can to help you find your work, career, vocation, balance, flow in its highest manifestation. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Here we go. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Taurus collective sun, moon, rising Venus signs watching this video and receiving this reading? What is the dominant 8th chakra dynamic hovering over their head, shifting the electromagnetic fields of all the other chakras underneath it, what they attract and what they repel in terms of their life purpose? Work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power. Let's start with work. Dominant archetype there for their work in the world. Lower 3 chakra dynamic, literal level of power, physical world stuff. For their career, personal level of power, their creative intuition, right? That heart, third eye crown, interior world. What they yearn for, what they burn for, their hunger, their passion, their thirst for creativity, their interior world, and for their vocation, their spiritual calling, 8th chakra dominant, right? The star that calls them for them, their divine orders, whatever, right? Their spiritual power in terms of their work, career, vocation, alignment, and balance. Now, in your work, you've got the teacher, a wisdom family archetype. There are 9 different families. In your career, you've got the judge, another wisdom family archetype. And in your vocation, you have got the vampire. Ooh. There is a link in the description box to a 2-hour, I know, because it's in there. I just saw it when I was checking the description box for the Aries read, which is in vampires. It is about the vampire archetype and other stuff in there. It used to be only on Vimeo. It's so important that it made its way to YouTube so everybody could get to it. So you got a teacher, a judge, and a vampire. Wisdom, wild card, because vampires can show up in any way, shape, or form. This is wild. So we're laying them down this way, but really to interpret them accurately, you interpret that way. You lay them down this way, you read them that way. Let's start with the 8th chakra of your vocation. You are dealing with the vampire archetype, which is parasitic. I mean, really, go watch the video. It's a lot of fun considering the subject. And you get to see me like heavier with shorter hair and glasses, which I'm sure is fun for some people. Not so much for me. The shadow indicates, the stuff that's being healed, that's being worked on, the lead, the toxicity. The gold is the light attribute, what you're shooting for. Now, I have a lot of experience with the vampire archetype, both professionally and personally. I think you'll hear how. The shadow attribute, depleting others for your psychic survival. Colin Robinson, white courtesy telephone. Chronic complaining and codependency. Colin Robbins, white courtesy telephone. That makes sense, right? Codependency, chronic complaining, codependency is one of the 4 ego wounds, right? So there's a lot to unpack in that. You see, that's the vampire, but the light attribute, I call the vampire hunter. All sorts of Buffy, you do the work, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Oh, the life force! Oh, dear, 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 dear. The vampire archetype doesn't come up more or less than any other card in these readings. But when it does, it just turns the party in a certain way. I have such a crush on Nandor, it's ridiculous. Let's move on. What we do in the shadows. In your career, you've got the wisdom family archetype of the judge, the shadow attribute, offering only destructive criticism. That's like the critic that pans everything. Misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. So you have the authority. This can be within a family, right? It's not all about the law, but certainly professionally in your career that might be true. The light attribute, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So if in your career, we'll talk about this a little bit more as we go, your career, how many artists, career, work, day jobs, right, or whatever to pay the bills. This is really about your hunger, your passion, your thirst. So to approach that, balancing justice and compassion, it's very throat chakra, it's very Kabbalistic. Go check it out. Try and be the middle pillar. Good luck with that. So that's really interesting. There's an aspect of fairness, I think, that you're learning the soul power of here and the wisdom to balance those scales. In your work, you got the teacher archetype, and you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So this vampire, don't fret, right? You might be feeling down and have the tendency to drain people in the shadow, but you might also be dealing with something vampiric in your spiritual vocation, right? Your spiritual calling. I have the teacher lifelong. My mother is a teacher, right? So it's like I can name every teacher I have ever had in high school, grade school, all of that. My favorite spiritual teachers, the ones I've met, and the ones that I haven't. So the shadow attribute of the teacher, just go Pink Floyd The Wall. Manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative skills and teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Now, we all teach by example, but what's the curriculum you're teaching there, Marge, right? We all teach by example, so that need not just be in front of a chalkboard. They still use those. I bet they're all dry erase boards now, right? It's not just about standing up in front of a class, right? Facilitators, instructors. If you ever worked in retail and you became an instructor, I forget what the word was. That was a long time ago. I left that world to start drawing the circle. The shadow attribute is pretty toxic of the teacher. The light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So if you are literally working a day job as some kind of teacher, then there's something in your career that's really about balancing this with justice and compassion, because you might very well be getting vamped. Vamp! Okay, 8th chakra, we're going to look at the next 4 chakras down using 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot. To get the internal of all 3 levels. Now, heart, third eye, crown is career dominant, but to look kind of behind the scenes of what your interior experience could be, or at least what's going on there that you need to know about. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please, 3 cards in clarity, heart, third eye, crown, interior dynamic, feminine energy, goddess energy, psychological energy, spiritual power, mental power, willpower, and emotional power for the Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign in their work, career, and vocation. With the teacher in their work, they got in the 8th. We have got the Phoenix card, heart, third eye, crown. We'll get there. For the judge in their career in the 8th, what's going on behind the scenes there, behind their eyes, heart, third eye, crown. We've got 10 of Cups, loving that. Wow, it feels like that's your leverage, but we'll see. Very heart chakra. And for the vampire in their career, please, particularly the 3rd chakra, what's going on there? And we have our first court card, which is the Crone of Blades, Ixchel, which is the Aquarius card that makes it the Queen of Swords. Crone of Blades, Queen of Swords. It's a feminist deck. Boom. Now, there are lots of ways to slay vampires. Lots of ways. I go into this in the video. God, I would love to redo that video just because I learned so much since I did that. I think it was in 2017, 18 I did that. I did that video. I did that class. Sure, a stake in the heart, but that works for everybody. Really, if you think about it, decapitation with a sword, yeah, that does it for everybody. So many different ways to slay a vampire, but do you know how to heal a vampire? If you know how to heal a vampire, it's in the video. If you know how to heal a vampire, comment below. See how many people know the answer to that, because you do. You just don't realize you do. Fright night. Okay, let's do this. We got the vampire, right, in your vocation. Heart, third eye, crown. This is third eye. When it's a court card inside, right, heart, third eye, crown, it is, if you have Gemini placement, if you have an Aquarius placement, like an Aquarius moon, then that's really for you to get that there's a way of dealing with this. What I love about the vibe on this, though, is that it is third eye. It's dominant third eye, 11th house, Aquarius, how you interact with the world, right? How your creativity interacts with this world. And again, not just art, right? Your creativity, how you're creating your reality. But having dated so many Aquarians, I mean, there's certain things you pick up along the way about them. You know, first of all, freaks of the zodiac, they've asked me to do shit that I won't do. And that I won't do is a lot. That says a lot. But they just don't pull back. They pull back and they pull up, right? They love to see the larger picture. I mean, they're ruled by Uranus, which, you know, that's a power grab right there. Bite me, vampire. Bite Uranus. This is really about seeing things from a higher perspective, which I have to say for vocation is the gig. The higher your altitude, the higher your attitude, and vice versa. The more you shift your attitude, the more you shift your altitude. I'm doing that because there's an attitudinal thing on an airplane as well as an altitudinal, and they are directly connected. Yeah. Talk about cause and effect. So this might be very humanitarian of you to kind of see, if you are dealing with a vampire, so to speak, that you kind of see it from that more egalitarian eagle woman. Ixchel is also a shamanic goddess of the jaguar South American vibe, right? Very, very, very powerful goddess, and she's flying with a pair of scissors. She's flying, I mean, run with scissors, fine, but if you're a goddess, you apparently get to fly with them on the backs of eagles. Seeing from that larger perspective, and snippity snip, snip, snip. Now keep in mind, this level of power is 8th chakra dominant. So what's draining your energy? And it's okay if you've drained energy. Again, you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And when I mean a reason, it can come and be gone in an hour, having a bad day. But to be aware of it, most people don't even know they're doing it. Colin Robinson, White Courtesy Telephone. I think this is your leverage. Yes, you need to look at this here, you know, from a higher mind POV. But here with the Judge in the 8th and the 10 of Cups, Inanna's House of Heaven, this is joy. This is ecstasy, is the word written on the phone here, on the card here. This feels lovely. And so you being able to take that Judge archetype and apply that 10 of Cups heart chakra dominant element of water, dominant emotional power to this, you know, you'll be able to find the compassion and the justice here so much easier to do. And of course, if you're getting this altitude, that's going to be simpler. Simple need not imply easy. We haven't looked at how this manifests in the physical form, which is the next 3 cards down, but we'll get there. The Teacher with the Phoenix card, the Death card, doesn't mean that you're at an end, but if it's a major arcana card and it's all 4 chakras then, right? Major arcana card, all 4, heart, third eye, crown, going through the Phoenix transformation. Probably more rising from the ashes than going to them. I wouldn't say this is the end of somebody being a teacher, but transforming how they teach, what they are teaching themselves as a result of this. It is a card of alchemy and transformation from lead to gold. Those 3 extra atoms to be burned off, right? And then rise from that as gold. That's cool. I mean, it's not easy, but it's cool. Let's look from the outside in, inside out, in the physical world. So that's why the first level of power is the literal physical world. So this will, you know, is looking at you from the outside in, horizontally. This is you looking at maybe another person, place, or thing, because it's about the lower 3 chakras, relationships in the world. Root chakra is tribes. A corporation is a tribe. A school district is a tribe, right? Your industry is a tribe. Second chakra, your relationship to another person or thing, money, sex, and power, which is why I use them, because, you know, ain't nothing going on with the rent or the mortgage or what have you. But your solar plexus is your relationship to yourself and your world, your honor code, your integrity, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, your gut intuition, that if you have the self-esteem, that which is a verb, going, then you get, no, this is my intuition. No one else has to believe this, particularly you're a Taurus. Yeah? Yeah? Stick to your guns. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Ooh. Still point. As I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please, 3 cards in clarity for the Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading in this timeless work, career, vocation read. In their work, they've got the teacher with the phoenix, the death card on the inner. Right, so teacher in the 8th, phoenix, heart, third eye, crown. What's going on? Lower 3 chakras. We've got the 4 of Wands, which, you know, people always want to directly make that about engagement. This might be that in terms of a new contract. If you're a teacher, let's hope it's better than the ones you guys have gotten. I got a lot of friends who are teachers. But more than likely what this is sort of taking a bit of a chill out, right? It's the prelude to the party or the change that comes in the 5 of Wands, which can often be combative. Now, with just the imagery on the cards, fire on the inner, fire on the outer, although this is a spirit card, fire, earth, air, water, and spirit all together, then I would say that there perhaps is a little pause, a little break. Setting up house, like you hear that a lot, right? Like, oh, 4 of Wands, you're setting up house, it's an engagement, maybe, maybe not. But it can very much be getting your desires stabilized, or at least if this is you from the outside looking in, then looking at yourself, this is a place of stability. You're okay, but you are transforming on the inside. And if this is from the inside looking out, you are looking at least for now, a stable situation, but that has to grow and evolve through the 5 of Wands to get to the 6 of Wands, which is victory and visibility, amongst other things. What are you teaching? That's the question. Comment if you like, if you're an actual teacher. I love my mother is a teacher, if I didn't mention it 100 times already. Shall we? I'm interpreting these as they hit the table, I guess. Please, my gods, the judge in their career, 10 of Cups on the inner. This has got to be the leverage, at least emotionally here. What's going on? What's going on in their career? Well, good old-fashioned 8 of Swords. I mean, 8 of Swords really is mentally stuck between a rock and a hard place, or in this case, the Furies and Apollo. Really not a good place to be. And there's the dude in the middle. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So there can be some mental looping. There can be a situation that you are dealing with, very thought-driven, perhaps even argumentative, but it's sort of like, I'm stuck, I'm trapped, blindfolded and bound in the Rider-Waite Tarot. 8 of Swords there. I mean, horrible place to be, but at the same time, what's going on in your heart? If you can really come about this, as it says, managing the fair distribution of power, but balancing justice and compassion. It feels like that's what this is, right? You're caught between one thing's, well, the Furies, that's justice, and Apollo, although not necessarily always known for his compassion, certainly is a god of healing. So, it's an interesting paradigm there, but I think what we're looking at here, very dominant, is for you to tap into that 10 of Cups, to get your own heart really, really open for that, to help free the mind. Then the rest will follow. Last of these 3. Breathe. Still point. My gods of earth, sign of Taurus, powers of the north in their vocation. The vampire in the 8th with the Aquarius card. The Queen of Swords, the Crone of Blades, Ixchel, the Eagle Woman, very third eye, maybe even 8th crown and up into the 8th chakra, depending on their spiritual practice, where they are in their awakening journey. but to be aware that someone or something is draining them, and then to do something about it in a spiritual vocation, particularly if you are a spiritual teacher. Expect vampires, right? It's like I said to my students, my tarot students in particular, I said, well, if you're good, expect psychic vampires and tarot junkies. They come for those that are good at what they do, but just one more thing. 3 hours later, or just one more thing until you're a dish rag, right? Been there, done that. That's why I charge what I do. Let's see it. What do you got for them lower 3 chakras in their vocation? Vampire in the 8th, Excel on the inner. What's going on the outer there? The Tower. Oh, shit's coming to a head. I get the feeling. It feels like lightning's going to strike. Now, the thing is, the word light is in lightning. Light is truth. So, you can take a codependent, toxic vampire, throw them out in the sunlight, they'll just get a tan, right? But if you expose them to the truth, they cringe. It burns, it burns, it burns. Like maybe you are dealing with a straight up narcissist in some way, shape, or form that's draining the fuck out of you. It happens, but maybe that's part of the lesson that you're learning here as you are transforming. I will say, when it is a major arcana card, just like the round ones in the Mythic Tarot, it's all 3 chakras. So it feels like this could be a bolt of enlightenment to you as well. You fly high enough, it destroys the old paradigm, right? It blasts down the illusion. When I teach tarot, I tell my students, think of the Tower card as the destruction of something that no longer serves, or that was never really true because the foundation was faulty. Someone who doesn't believe in spirits, ghosts, paranormal stuff, it's just crap. 40 years, that's their line. And then one morning, before they wake up, there's their great-grandmother sitting dead for 50 years. He's going, hey, Bachagolupastuna, right? And you wake up and, great-grandma, I'm so sorry, right? What happened to those 40 years of disbelief? Gone in a second. There could also be a revelation here for you in the sense of flying high enough that you see what's going on. Stop taking it personally. Chop their heads off. Stake them. Remember Steakums? Do they still make Steakums? That I want to see on What We Do in the Shadows with these Steakums. Oh, he's so cute. Pretty down for Guillermo too, to be honest with you. Let's get you 3 Matt Kahn healing mantra cards here. We're not going to bookie book it. We're saving the bookie book for our last card down with the Whispers of Love, the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. They're both by the same author. To help you align the chakras and bring all this together, and a couple of ways to read these. Let's get them on the table. Breathe. Still point. As I call upon the ascended masters of life purpose through the archetypal lenses of work, career, and vocation, please. 3 cards in clarity, one at a time, for the Taurus Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading in their work. They've got the Teacher in the 8th, Phoenix on the inner, 4 Wands on the outer, which does feel that they're giving me the word restive. Because action is coming, right? It's like really, it's setting up camp. It's getting your ducks in an order. Getting your ducks in an order. Getting your ducks in a line. Your priorities in order. Please, what's the healing mantra to help them bring that into balance in their work? Unraveling codependency. Only I have to feel good about my choices, and you've literally got the word codependency right here with the vampire. So get that if the vampire is at your work, when is it not? It's usually one of them. Colin Robinson, white courtesy telephone, say it with me. Right? Then get that there is a huge spiritual awakening here for you in terms of dealing with the vampire in life overall. I like that. The Judge archetype in their career, 10 of Cups on the inner. Now I'm not so sure that this is their leverage. Emotionally it might be, but with the Ten of Cups, the ecstasy card on the inner, but the Eight of Swords on the outer, if they can really bring that into balance, this could be their leverage. What's the mantra? Illuminating the truth, I am willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcome. Now you tell me. What do you think that's going to do, letter gold, with that Judge archetype? It's a wisdom family archetype, right? I am willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcome, illuminating the truth. You could very well deal with whoever this vampiric is, because I don't think it's you. I really don't. I think this is about you learning how to deal. They're Buffyizing you. They're making you Van Helsing. Kill them all! This is great if you take it that way, if this is really you. Because if you're willing to see the truth no matter the outcome, and only you have to feel good about your choices, any power they might have stolen from you, you take them right back. Ascended Masters of Work, Career, Vocation, Life Purpose, and their vocation. Maybe this is the leverage. It changes moment to moment. Please, Vampire in the 8th. Excerpt. Flying with a pair of scissors. Above it all, seeing it from the highest heights, how the Brooklyn Heights, with that Tower card on the outer, a real quick lightning bolt change out of the blue. The perfect healing mantra to help them bring that into alignment. Deconstructing doubt. Only my beliefs are in the way. Third eye. Excerpt. Clippity clip clip clip. So I'll show you the two ways to read this. Because if you take the names and read it this way, you get, I'm unraveling codependency in my work, I'm illuminating truth in my career, totally, and I am deconstructing doubt in my vocation. But if you switch them, those are the names of the mantras. If you do the mantras this way, only my beliefs are in my way, in my vocation. I'm willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcome in my career. And only I have to feel good about my choices in work. You get it? That's holographic reality. Really, even the word spread means you take all the energy of a subject and you spread it out. I am filled with sound effects. I was raised by a nursery school teacher. We still do them all the time. And my cats seem to enjoy it as well. So this makes a lot of sense. I mean, this is not, there's nothing here that is so out of alignment that it doesn't make sense. Holistically, it works. So, let's get your last card down with The Whispers of Lord Ganesha by Angelo Hartfield, who also does the Whispers of Love that I use for a lot of my readings here. Blue Angel Publishing. If you are unfamiliar with Ganesh or Lord Ganesha, elephant-headed Hindu god of wealth and success and opulence, but in the West it seems mostly known as the remover of obstacles. He is a sweetheart, and I do love the elephants. So think about the lead as the obstacle in the lead to gold ratio, the shadow to light here, to help you remove obstacles. One card to cover it all, and one card to rule them all. Breathe. Still point. As I call on the beloved Lord Ganesha, please, one card in clarity for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video and receiving this reading. Please, what is your guidance, your grace, what you have to offer to help them remove all, any and all obstacles, or the obstacles that are ready to be removed in their life purpose in terms of work, career, and vocation, because we've got a vampire judge teacher, which sounds like a job description, right? Doesn't mean they're vampires. It means that they are vampire judges and teaching that. Well, there's lots of ways to play with those words. So please remove the obstacles, show them how, give them your guidance, grace, love, wisdom, power for this timeless work, career, vocation read. Guidance. Guidance. Very cool. I mean, the artwork is beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Card number 33, Guidance. Let's get this for you. Lovely. Last card down. Well, this one's a little long, but it seems worth it. Breathe. Card number 33, Guidance. Guidance is all about learning to communicate with your soul and discovering and manifesting your purpose, which is what this reading is. Ganesha is worshipped and adored by the Trimurthas, Trimurthas, I think I said that right, or the Trinity of Hinduism, which is made up of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. The story goes that during the period of dissolution, the water and wind were demolished and the earth evaporated. Jinkies. Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva wandered the earth to determine what was causing this dissolution. The gods discovered a huge aura of light where Ganesha was enshrined. The Trimurthas immediately bowed to Ganesha in reverence and began to worship and praise him. They requested that Ganesha bless them. Ganesha entrusted the gods with 3 separate duties. Vishnu is the preserver, Shiva the destroyer, and Brahma the creator. Guidance is based on communication. The soul can send you messages through symbols, synchronicity, hunches, sudden inspiration, dreams, and even direct channeling. This is feeling very much that Aquarius card in your vocation. Consciously connecting with your guides, heightening your psychic abilities, and fine-tuning your skills to be present and pay attention are all important parts of learning to receive guidance. Particularly once you get something's off here, I don't like what's going on here. That's, I think, what we're talking about. That sort of guidance. Carolyn Myss once said that misery is a form of intuition too, and she's right. Sorry, I just had Kathy Bates fly through my third eye. As you open up, your soul begins to communicate your inner purpose for this lifetime to you. When you learn to hear and recognize its promptings, your life starts to take on a magical quality. Remember that you can ask Ganesh to support you in creating raised awareness. Make a point to look at spirituality from new perspectives that may be unfamiliar to you. Be willing to talk to people whose experiences and beliefs are different from your own. You may need to move out of your comfort zone in order to do this. You will be all the richer for it. If you are concerned about getting true information about your personal life from a psychic or intuitive, you can prepare for it by asking from your heart to receive information that is for the highest good. And that's why everything I do is for the well-being of all, the highest good of all. Be sure your motivations are pure. You can ask the psychic to channel the words that your own soul wants you to hear to further your spiritual growth. This is exactly what's going on here, except if you clicked on, you asked me. Rely on your intuition and your inner knowledge rather than your intelligence or conscious mind. That's definitely that third eye. So you know what? I'm kind of guessing that your vocation is your more dominant leverage here. Trust your instincts and pay attention as messages can turn up from a variety of sources. Be attentive to your dreams. You may want to keep a dream journal. Synchronicities are likely now. It is possible that a pleasant surprise will be coming your way soon in regard to your work. This could even be a new job opportunity. The gods Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma may represent the different male energy in your life. Engage in the energy of men in your life or in the energy of the Trimurthas to assist you with the task at hand. Well, certainly, I think in terms of being drained, right? I like, if you are a literal physical teacher, you have my love, my compassion, and my blessing, because it ain't easy for teachers right now. I don't know that it ever really was, but it seems really, really hard right now. But even if you're not a literal teacher, there's definitely a draining factor here. The vampire thing feels a little dominant. Remember, unraveling codependence, only I need to feel good about my choices. And I had a friend of mine, when I read him with that one, he goes, well, some days you just want to burn down the village. I'm like, no, only I have to feel good about my choices. That's not when you're feeling good. But this feels like deconstructing doubt, right? Illuminating the truth. You're going to see things clearly, so you're going to be able to make the choices that feel good to you no matter what anybody else thinks. And look, if they burst into flames, right? If they vamp out on you, they start burning up and dissolving in front of you, then that's part of their healing path. You be true to you, and maybe you're delivering some lightning here to a vampire. I guess sunlight ain't the only way, huh? Of course there's not. There's always garlic, which is a vermifuge, kills parasites. Whew, the vampiric lore, I tell ya. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to put this together in a blessimation, a blessing and a summation of what's going on here, and confer the blessing with the divine. Let's see what comes out of my mouth. I just want to be able to see the light attributes here. I might have to pick them up because the lighting is definitely weird in here today. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call to the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation, may they be blessed with all that they need, so that in their vocation they can become aware that someone or something is draining their life force and do something about it, certainly by flying as high as they can, seeing this from the highest altitude they can, which allows an instantaneous change, maybe in them, maybe in this situation, but nonetheless, this is a spiritual calling. This is something that they have to deal with. And in terms of the thoughts that they think they can get, only my beliefs are in the way. I'm feeling drained, but I'm saying, no, that couldn't, no, only my beliefs are in the way. So allowing them to deconstruct doubt from that higher altitude, so that in their career with the judge archetype, that they balance justice and compassion and manage the fair distribution of power with what feels like an overflowing heart, which feels like a lot of love, right? This isn't coming from a very, very harsh place in that way, but it could very much be a harsh situation, caught between speaking one's truth and upsetting somebody, which is pretty much a foundation of codependence, so that next mantra makes a lot of sense. But if they can just illuminate the truth, if they are willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome, then that compassion and justice with the vampiric energy will certainly be more loving than not. And certainly in their work, with their ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom while they are going through this transformation. Maybe they are teaching this by example. Maybe they are going through an alchemical healing process dealing with this vampire because it's really hard to bite a firebird. With this Four of Wands, maybe there is a little bit of peace, a little bit of stability, but prepare. The fives are coming, and so they can begin right now to unravel codependence, because only they have to feel good about their choices. And certainly Lord Ganesh is saying there is guidance here for you. Of course you don't know what to do. This situation is an ancient one, but it's one that everybody goes through in work, career, and vocation sooner or later, just in the life purpose of all, so that they can tune to and turn to their guidance internal. The guidance external, hopefully a balance of both, is nice to keep it just and fair and sane, as well as to turn to people who do things outside of the box, who may have more expertise than they do in any way, shape, or form, so that they can heal and grow and align their work, career, vocation into a single flow of the fulfilling life purpose that they came in to experience as divine beings and immortal souls on heroes' journeys in human forms for the well-being of all and with harm to none. as we will it. So let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching. That is lovely. And again, if you are a literal teacher, I love you. Hang in there. Go teach somewhere else. I know it's easier said than done, I know. But if you liked it, like it. If it makes sense, be a teacher. Teach by example. Hit the thumbs up. Want more of me here on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, you might as well. I'm the fun one. I know what I'm talking about. The gods put the right cards in my hand and I have cool hair. Every zombie and witch. If you want the deeper experience, magic, miracles, mysticism, and more, Malcolm Patreon on Patreon. I love it there. I really do. But YouTube is an important part of my career of getting out my mystical vocation out to the world as a mystical artist, as a corporate president. You try that balance. It's tricky. So come hang out, or at least go check out the subscription tiers. I love it, and I think you might too, and certainly if you are creative, check it out for yourself too. That being said, don't book me for a private reading. There is a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal explains it all for you, just like Clarissa and I have been doing work, career, vocation reads for clients for decades, and now it's happening around the world, and it's really cool. So if you need a little help, reach out. Guidance, right? Yeah. Link in the description box. Otherwise, witching you, Abercrombie and witching you the very best and the very blessed of your work, career, vocation from this timeless reading. Comment if you like. Who's the vampire? Who's biting who? Who's zooming who? I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.